But getting back to this, if we could really quick, Gixer, great friend of the show, talking about Branch being recognized as a Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week. Do you think Branch will continue to be kicked towards? He's a boss. If they keep kicking towards him, they are idiots. Because his I remember I heard it, but there's no way they're going to continue to kick towards him. He's got a kickoff return now, and then he's got a punt return. This guy, and when he doesn't get it, you guys, it seems like you can't tackle him in a phone booth. He's just like one step away, but 2 or 3 other times from housing it. So you got to think, what can USC do with that? If they start kicking away from him, what do you do? You're to give Caleb Williams good field position? Go ahead. Please give this offense a shorter field to work with, and they'll hurt you. Matt, what do you think?
Well, I've been watching football for a long time. I mean, I've told Mark on a past edition of this show here at the Voice of College Football that the first college football game I consciously remember watching was the 1981 Gator Bowl between North Carolina and Arkansas. First game I can consciously remember watching. I had just turned 6 years old. So I've been watching this sport for over 40 years. And it just amazes me, Mark and Tim and everyone else watching, that punting out of bounds has not become commonplace as a tactic and as a taught skill for special teams for punting. Like, you should be taught as a punter how to kick the ball far but out of bounds so that a kick returner can't get his hands on it, but you still get the good net field position. Like, I felt this for a long time that, why can't you kick the ball out of bounds yet long? Why can't you do that? Why isn't that taught just as a regular matter of course? Now, if you don't have a spectacular returner on the other side, okay, kick conventionally, do it the normal way. But when you have a Zachariah Branch there, when you have a Rocket Ismail, when you have Devin Hester, whoever, like, you should be able to kick the ball a long way and yet kick it out of bounds. And yet we don't see this regularly taught, coached, and implemented in college football, actually in the pros either. You don't really see it that often. It's really kind of crazy, but like, that is the tactic for Zachariah Branch. And if these idiotic coaches want to keep kicking to him, hey, just bring it
Please
on.
do.
But Notre Dame's special teams coach, is one of the best in the country. So I do not expect Notre Dame to kick to Zachariah Branch. And so you're not going to probably get kick returns in that game, but maybe one of these Pac-12 teams is just going to be stubborn enough to give him a few chances, and a few chances are all Zachariah Branch needs.
The last time I remember there being a concerted effort to shut down a punt returner, it was Christian McCaffrey in the season in which he finished second in the Heisman balloting in 2015. And what resulted was teams decided, okay, we can't kick to him, but you benefit from exactly what you're talking about, Matt. Even for those punters that are fairly skilled and are intending on kicking the ball out of bounds, they're not going to consistently do it well. So you're going to gain a lot of field position by them shying away and basically choosing to not kick to a guy with this kind of speed and explosiveness.
Absolutely. Hey, got a comment here from LBC Robbie. Let me pull it up here. Coaches hate surrendering field position. LBC Robbie, the specific point I'm trying to make is, can't a punter be coached to kick the ball long and out of bounds? That's the specific point I'm making. If you have a huge leg and you want to be able to get maximum distance on a kick and yet kick it out of bounds, it would seem to me the obvious thing to do is, especially if the play is originating from one of the hash marks, you kick it the opposite side of the field. That way you can still absolutely crush the punt. You can hit it as hard as you'd like, but you're angling it to the side with more width, so you have more playing room so that the ball, if it goes out of bounds, you can hit a rocket but still get like a 45-yard net. Can't you get that? If you have a good punter, if you have a mediocre punter, that might change the calculus. But if you have a good punter, if you have Todd Sauerbrunn type punter. Can't you just annihilate the ball to the wide hash mark, the wide side of the field, and still get a pretty good net punt while also kicking the ball out of bounds? I mean, I just fail to understand why that can't be coached regularly, but we do not see this in games consistently.
Well, Matt, we're not going to see.
We do not see this consistently as a tactic.
We're not going to see it against ASU because, well, we stole their punter, so we can't kick it deep. But Chapliki's on our team now, so good luck, ASU. I hope you found somebody.
And gosh, is there a better position to play in America right now than being USC's punter? I mean, you can just kick back and have, unlimited cold beverages on the sideline, basically, and just set up in a hammock. I mean, that is a pretty sweet gig.
Let's make sure we get to these comments here that are labeled here as Auto Star Super Chats. I don't even know what that means, but we're going to get to them regardless. JS says, 8 pack ranked teams, no pack team goes undefeated. Such a pack thing to do. Finally, get good and then destroy the conference.
I actually, Mark, I just starred those. Those aren't super chats. I just put them in there just to remind me.
I got you.
But going back to the punting question point you had earlier, Matt, it might be a situation. Do you remember what year was it with Tom Malone? Our offense was so he didn't qualify for Ray Guy because he didn't get enough punts. Do you remember that? It was back in the Pete Carroll years. The offense was so good,
right? 04, 05, right?
Well, that he literally wasn't eligible for the award. He was booming punts, but he didn't punt enough because our offense was that good.